welcome. So, anybody want to start with a question, or if there is, or otherwise, see what happens?
Why there is some place here where you connected with your inner peace? Like in the cave this morning, I discovered she knows many nice place, and some place not. Why sometimes it's like this, or it's the place, or it's my mind. It's creating more.
Ah,
Is it the place because Ramana was meditating here?
the best answer I would like to say is why not?
Why not?
Why not is always the best answer. But then, yes, it's different. We live in time and space, in this dream of time and space. So in time and space there is difference and change. So it's not always the same. The mood is changing, the energy frequency is changing. Everything is always changing and different in time and space. But if we are interested to know what we are prior to that, so this, what we are, has no beginning, no end. It's prior to time and space, so no change, no difference. No beginning, no end. What we call it sometimes the self, or the Tao, the Buddha nature, or the zero notion, because we cannot say anything about that. So yes, in the field of experience, because time and space is a field of experience, so you will experience all kind of things. Sometimes you feel happy, sometimes you feel depressed, some place are charged, sometimes or not. Some people are bright, some people are not so bright, or whatever. So it's, yes. If you want to know in detail why and how about this, there is some specialists about that. Some places has some charge energy, and they can take some measurement, and about it can be a physical place like Arunachala, or some people who are some saint or have been get buried there, like in Sheshadri Ashram or Ramana. So then it seems some kind of energy is there, so people can feel if you are receptive. Not everybody can feel. It depends on your receptivity. But it's receptivity of the body mind. But what we are is prior to these experiences, I would say. The self does not make difference between this is more charged or less, or this. This is in the field of this dream we can call time and space. So I call it like that for people who come first time. The simplest way to understand is to see that it's like an oasis, time and space. So tomorrow and there, when you arrive tomorrow disappear, become now. It can never be tomorrow. It seems you approach to tomorrow like an oasis of water, but it disappears. And there also, when you arrive there become here. So there and tomorrow are ungraspable. So it appears to be real, the frame of time and space, it's an appearance. But if you see it as an appearance, then you may see also that whatever appears in the time and space, in this mirage, is also a mirage. So any experience is a mirage. It might be good, it might be the highest samadhi, highest state of consciousness, highest realization, but for who will be this realization? Because the self does not need to be realized, The self is already the self, or the Buddha, or whatever. So who need to have this realization is what I call the one, which came out of the zero notion. In the self or zero notion, there is no time and space, no experience, no idea of anything. The mind cannot grasp what we are, that. But the first one, the first word or sound or light came out of the zero. Then this first is already in the dream and creates another one and many ones, and is troubled by its first appearance. It's troubled by the feeling of being separated, and this inner urge to be bound, to be united again. So the one feeling alone want to merge. It's what we call yoga. But yoga is for the one in the dream. But if we can hear that what we are is already perfect, is already as it is, undescribable, untouchable, then we may relax in what we are, prior to the person, prior to the one. So any kind of experience will be made by the one. But we are prior to that. So we don't need to mind to reject the one, because the one can be seen as a phantom, appear to be real, but whatever appears in the dream is also like the phantom world, phantom dream is also a phantom. So the I is also seen as a phantom I. So we don't need to kill it, because we can kill only what is real, but what is not real. A movie on a screen, you will try to kill an actor in the movie. It does not work. The movie is shooting by itself. So
I have a question. Is the vibration, energy, sound? Time
vibration,
and
energy,
sound. Zero or one?
one.
Why?
Because so sound needs space to vibrate, right? Light, so we say sound is 300 meters a second, light is 300,000 kilometers a second, I think. Yes. So different, but it's the same power, the creative power. We call it the word in the Bible, or the shabd in some tradition. I was in the tradition I told you, the shabd or the nam.
Shakti also?
Shabd.
Shakti also is called.
Yes, but I would say that maybe the first one is more like the lingam, and then the shakti is more like the space. But it's just a way of seeing it. That the lingam needs a space to vibrate in. The lingam cannot vibrate alone, so it needs a space. This is a yoni. But it's just a way of seeing it. But otherwise you can say it's all shakti, yes, also. Why not? But the self is prior to shakti. Shakti came out of, the energy came out of what is undescribable. We cannot say anything with words. We cannot touch it. We cannot destroy it. We cannot burn it. Nothing can happen to what we are. That's why we don't dare. We don't mind dreaming the worst or the best, because we are not in danger by doing so. So it's just like a theater, and to make the theater feel real, then we have been engrossed in this body mind, and we really feel it's happening. It's happening, and we feel, sense, think, and we are so identified with it that we are lost totally in the movie. But at some point, if something within feel like, oh, I'm done, I'm tired somehow of this movie, I want to, well, maybe there is something behind from where it's coming, this movie. So that's where the seeking starts. So the seeking needs still the sense of free will, because without free will you cannot seek, right? So as long as we are still much identified, we need to use this fake free will and to search for the truth, until we need to practice, or to do something, and to be disappointed, to see some guru, teachers, and again be disappointed, until one day we may realize that nothing works. And then the inner ear may open and we might be able to hear, you are that now. What are you looking for? You are already that. So the being, what you are, is already there since ever, forever, eternity. You are that eternity. So that's why even Jesus in the Bible speak about the inner ear or the single eye. So this is the eye, the ear of the lying, is not telling the truth. These eyes, we believe them, this ear and these eyes, but they are not telling the truth. They are deforming, changing the perception, right? But the absolute perception is not dual. So that's why we speak about the single eye or the single ear. But we cannot provoke that. The only thing we can do, because many people say, yes, I hear that, I am that, but I don't experience it. So this we cannot provoke. What we can do at that point, we can only seek, practice, search, the discipline, meditate, self-inquiry, whatever. You may do self-inquiries until you try to kill the ego or to demystify it or whatever. And at some point you may see, oh, what I am does not need anything, not even self-inquiry. But after that, which is my case, I don't mind using anything. I sit to meditate or self-inquiry or whatever, or go to the temple. This is for the one, so it's no problem. But there is this recognition, the self recognizing itself. Oh, I am that now. I'm fed up to postponing. Religion, society told me, you will get there if you do that. If you are wise, you will go to paradise. If you do good. Always postponing. And the guru, teacher tell you, if you practice enough this, you may have moksha. But when you are really tired, you say, no, I don't want to postpone anything. I am that now. So I don't need to wait for the ego to be burned, or to have no thought, or this, or any kind of story, or to be the perfect anything. It's always postponing. Yeah, who want to postpone? I is always, I want to stay alive. So it's very subtle, but people in religion also want God to be separated. I want to pray God, but I don't want to question my own existence of this I. So I, to stay alive, will do anything, will fight, will kill. But when you are exhausted enough, the mind is tired enough, then this is when you can hear that you are. That's very simple, but the mind has created so many arrangements to keep you in this dream. So it has been made purposely.
So you're just saying search long enough until you are tired of searching and
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Because until you see the free will as fake.
So then searching becomes like fun, huh?
Yes, and it will continue afterwards.
Yeah.
Because it's a perpetual inquiry. The one will stay in the wheel. As a hamster, it will turn in the wheel. Right? So the one cannot get out. So the one I prefer, instead of saying I am an awakened being and I'm enlightened, I'm a guru.
You can make it more funny. You search more, you get faster in the wheel.
Yeah, but it's about seeing that this one is belonging to the will and the zero recognizes itself, right? And this one is, I prefer to call this a beggar, or the first devil. The first devil created all other devils. The first one, because when the word came out of the absolute, it came with the shadow part. The shadow part is the sense of separation, the fear of existing. When I the first God, creator, came out, then he came with ingrained in it the fear, the seed of separation, the fear of existing. And this is what we are running away constantly. This feeling, this kind of sadness, of depression, or whatever expression this wound we may take, we now, if we look in that direction with self-inquiry, what is with this one, this first wound? And this first wound is this fear of existing. And when we stop to keep our attention out on outer object, we bring it to the subject, I. And we'll see that within that is also this not, sometimes we don't, not pleasant emotion. And so we try to cover it and to show up. So it's about showing up. We are happy. So whatever we do is to try to cover that, to get a position in society, to get married, to have children, to have whatever we do, somehow it's covering up this, but we cannot avoid. Sometimes it comes, and that even if you have a full life with many children, carer, and this, at some point you will again be with that. What is that feeling that we run away from? So if we dare to stay with that, not running away, then we may demystify what is behind this. So but the seeking will continue, because its nature is to tend to destroy itself, to cancel itself. So it's a tendency of the one to try to reach out to some object to cancel its separation. So this is eternal tendency in the dream, yes. So, but as yourself, as zero, you don't mind seeing this game, as not real, as an appearance. So you say, oh, Romeo is always looking for Julieta, or the seeker for God to be, I'm separate God, where are you, and like this. So it's a game. It's a game to perpetuate the movie. The movie would not be there if this forgetfulness of who we are would not be there. So this forgetfulness is a must for this movie to seem real. So we may not mind it and let the movie go on and just be as we are, and yes, be in spite of good and bad, and not running away from this or that. Because the tendency of the mind is to run after well-being. What is not feeling good, I'm running away. I'm looking after feeling good meditation, Shakti, Ashirad, blessings, whatever, or ice cream, coffee, sex, whatever. So we run after feeling good and run away from feeling bad. But this is a shadow part of ourselves. So if we want to really be here, we need to embrace both. Yes, and so to not run away from being here. Yes.
So it means that even if we recognize the true nature, it doesn't immune us from having negative thought, perverted thought, committing crime, and all the stuff that are judged or labeled as negative in the society.
So, on one side, we can say that if you see that there is no actual free will, it's seen as a phantom free will in the dream, then this question is not coming anymore, because it's just life living itself, right? But from a relative point of view, we could say that this will affect, this seeing will somehow have the movie will change, the body-mind structure will change, so it may act differently, right? But this is already happening by itself in the movie. So we may think we have an illusory free will to work on that, but it's happening by itself. So it depends if you see from absolute or relative.
But from the angle of the seeker won the absolute truth, and we perceive someone like Ramana or Jesus, Buddha, as the one we aspire to become. And even if this is an illusion, that the authenticity is what matters. We just don't want to get caught in someone like Adida or Sai Baba or somebody that believe they're liberated, but they caught in what I label as the illusion of liberation.
Yeah, but this is still the controller want to control. He's afraid. Who is this controller? Who want to the movie to be like this or not to be like this? Who is afraid? I. It's always I. So if you see that there is no free will, if you do self-inquiry correctly somehow, you will see at the same time there is no free will. Right? So there is no question of I cannot avoid anything what is happening in the movie. Even Ramana, one of the best quote I like is whatever has to happen will happen. Try your best to not make it happen, it will happen. And what has to not happen, is not destined to happen, will not happen. Try hard to make it happen, it will not happen. So the best thing is to stay silent. Not as a person, but as be the self, the silent self. Anyway, because the movie you have no control. So if you have to be like Adida or Ramana, this is not a real point. I mean, as a person, you can question that, go into that questioning, but I would invite you to be more in this, bring your attention to this I and to see, search for this controller. Who is this I controller who think he can control the movie? That is a direct path. Otherwise, you may try to control the actor in any way to avoid to do bad thing and this. But in fact, in reality, attention is flowing by itself. If you see there is no free will, attention is flowing by itself. You have no control on it. But until you cannot see that, then you have to use your free will and to do good action or whatever. So there is, you see what I mean? And I would add also that it's very important to see it's not about Ramana, Jesus or Buddha. The self of Ramana, the self of Buddha or Jesus or yourself, what is the difference between these selves? No difference. This is, then you stay with that. Why to bother about anything else? You are that self. Whatever happens in the movie, why do you care?
Because there are people who have expressed themselves to be liberated, so to be recognizing the true nature, and then to be abusive, and then to be taking power over others. And this is it's how liberation is so.
Yes, but you cannot. I tried myself to some gurus. I have seen something happening, and I tried to make the justice outside. And I've been far into that with some big guru.
By justice.
Because I saw some abuse, money, sex, power, or this, so I tried to denounce it and widely because I have so many contacts and this and that. But at some point I saw that it's not working. It's about power, and they have too much. You cannot change the nature of the world. The best place to put your attention is on this I, because he's the one who is perceiving this game, right? So, yes?
But I have no interest of changing the one I believe are doing wrong. What I'm concerned is that if they believe they recognize the true nature and they were in the wrong path, or perceived to be in the wrong path, would avoid me to believe that my my recognition to be authentic.
Yes, but this is a controller who think he can control that. So the direct path is to put your awareness, your attention on this I who think he has control on the way it should be, should or should not be. This is a direct. Stay here and you will see your question will disappear. Otherwise you stay in the mind and the question take you out. But if you keep your attention on I, the question disappear like fog, like clouds. And it's easy, you see thought, they come Yes. So either you grasp them or not. It's like a clothes, you know. I like to speak like this sometimes. Do you have a clothes here? No. But imagine this is a shirt or whatever. A thought is coming, and then you jump into it, and you say I. You put your eye in it. But then if you can see it and not jump and put your I-ness in it, just a thought. Even if the thought say, oh, I'm not yet that. The I is there, but you don't need to put your I sense in it. Even if the I is in the words, you don't need to buy it. It's like a supermarket. So you don't need to each time buy thoughts and put your I in it and think I am thinking that. You see? You take ownership. You put ownership in thought, in thinking. But if you don't put ownership, this thought, oh, I don't want to be like Adidas or this. If you don't put your I in that, this thought is left alone. Well, where are you left?
Well, what if you perceive your behavior changing in this direction, your own behavior? So it's not about others, but it's about yourself.
Then continue to do self-inquiry. Stay there. This is the best way to be honest, because whatever you do to try to change the person will be on the external, but the direct path is to put your attention on I. If it is your predisposition, or surrender, seeing that this is a higher power who is doing all whatever is happening. That I don't feel. So the ultimate will, I bow down to this is a path of bhakti, devotion. But you can ultimately it is the same. But you can mix also bhakti and jhana. Yes. Because otherwise you still go in the controlling game. The point is about to put your attention on the controller. The controller is very subtle. Even the one who will reach some state of I amness or awareness, or is still every state of consciousness there is still a subtle controller who has a preference to stay here or there or there. And this preference makes you a controller. You see? But what you are has no preference. It just sees for the self it's all equal. Has no preference to be a worm or the highest guru or samadhi or this. For the self there is no difference. A cow or.
But what about for the self? Doesn't matter also if you abuse
Yes.
that intentionally others.
Yes, exactly.
Doesn't
Because
matter.
this is happening for the self. It does.
There's no free will.
You know, if you see, like on the screen, a cinema, the movie is shooting, and there is some people killing people, abusing people, raping women, or whatever horrible thing. But when you close the movie, you shut down. What is left? Just a screen. That's why some people, sometimes we say nothing ever happened. It happened in time and space, but when the frame of time and space is seen as fake, as a mirage, then you see everything. Yes, it seems terrible. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said to Arjuna, yes, kill them, kill your uncle, brother, they're already dead. Because the film is already there. You know?
The script is already written.
We can say like that. Or if you see there is no past, no future, then it's already. Yes. In India, they speak about the Akashic records who are recorded in the sky. So, and they are pre-recorded. And even if some change happen, higher being come to help you to change your destiny, it seems, oh, he has changed, so there is some possibility to change something in the movie. But even then, that is seen as part of the movie itself. But this is something not really solid, because unless you see by yourself this Akashic record and whatever. But what is very concrete and solid is to, with this self-inquiry, to put your attention on I, and to see by yourself that free will is not real. If you see, all go together. Time and space, free will, I is all part of. If you in this inner seeing you see that it's not real, then you don't need to think about Akashic records or anything. You just see it. Life is living itself.
But just before, you said that when the recognition of your true nature is established, the mind change, there's transformation. And it is believed from the seeker point of view that those transformations make us benign instead of malign, at least to society.
Instead of?
Make us more benign. That means that we're not meant to do harm to others. We're not meant to be dangerous to others or to abuse others. And so when it happened, it is believed from the seeker point of view that those gurus were not truly enlightened.
Yes. And so what I discovered from my experience is that why gurus and teachers fall down, because they try to establish themselves somewhere in some plane of consciousness, somewhere, either in I amness, which is like the power of now, or when it's like space-like, there is no sense of I, but there is still, it's a kind of plane of consciousness. Or you can go maybe to higher awareness, the first, the word, the first light and sound, which is like more like a shruti, which is the highest awareness, we could say. But if you have a preference to stay there, it's again a preference. So if you, guru or people who want to stay there, rather than here or to be identified, always struggling, there is a subtle control. The controller is still there, subtle. So you cannot stay always in one state of consciousness. That's why Ramana or Nisargadatta speak about this 7 state of realization, which is they are realized within the dream, but the self is prior to any state of realization. So we may need, according to our destiny, go through any state of realization, or we may just be able to hear you are that, and what you are does not need to go through anything to be what it is, and that is the best if you can hear that. It's what I'm hearing too. You don't need anything. The self does not need to achieve anything to be what it is, because you are that now. And then it is stopping, postponing. Oh, this higher Sadguru, this I'm so low compared to them, and this, because you take it from the dream point of view. But the self of Buddha and yourself, if you see that, yes. So I was reading something from the Diamond Sutra of Buddha this morning, and it was saying the Bodhisattva will have to commit a vow to enter nirvana only when all other beings will enter nirvana. But the real meaning of this, which I like, is that why? Because when you enter nirvana, you realize that there is no self here. Then you realize there is no self anywhere, no I and self. So this idea disappears. And when you enter nirvana, everybody, you realize there is nobody else. So everybody is already nirvana. So that is the meaning. The real meaning for me is that when you see there is no self and others, not the self in capital letter, but then everybody and at the same time enter nirvana, and you see it's all nirvana. It appears to be separation and suffering and this, but the substratum is nirvana. So samsara and nirvana or sin are not separate. From the zero point of view, there is no separation. There is no nirvana and samsara. So when you hear I am that, then there is nobody to free, nobody is in bondage. And that's what Ramana said. The only thought you have to get rid of is that the idea that you are not free. Yes,
Je vais poser la question en français.
yes. She will ask in French.
Donc, il faut savoir que quand on est amoureux,
When we are in love,
est-ce que c'est aussi une fuite et est-ce que c'est encore dans la séparation ou comment
so when we fall in love, is it a escape in the separation?
est-ce que c'est encore
So
pour nourrir
yes. So I reply in English. If you don't understand, you tell me, okay? I reply in English.
Oui, d'accord.
If you don't understand, you tell me, okay?
En anglais, je préférais que tu me répondes
Ah,
après,
ok.
après en français.
Après le satsang. So du point de vue, I would speak both, right?
Yeah. We are for
Yeah. Du point de vue absolu, you have no choice. Du point de vue absolu, tu n'as pas le choix de tomber amoureux ou pas. From the absolute point of view,
Ah,
there is no free will, so you have no
bon, bah,
choice
c'est déjà. Je suis pas
to
responsable.
follow in love or not. You have to follow the script, right? But from the relative point of view, du point de vue relatif, on pourrait dire que oui, c'est un échappé. What we try, on essaye d'attraper un objet extérieur pour se rendre plus complet. So from the relative point of view, we could say that yes, to look for another soul because we don't feel complete, so we try to complete ourselves with another one. This beggar, another beggar to try to feel more complete with two beggars, right? But if ce mendiant a besoin d'un autre mendiant pour essayer de se rendre complet. But it does not work. If you tried, it worked for some time. Ça marche pour un certain moment, pendant un certain temps, but at some point you will realize, no, I'm still feel incomplete. The one which came out of the absolute, of the zero, is always feeling incomplete. It is his nature, because it is separate. Right?
Donc, tu peux-
Le 1 sera toujours séparé. Donc il essaye d'annuler sa séparation en trouvant Juliette, Roméo et Juliette. But it's fake. This love is fake. It is a mirroring of the absolute love that we are, but it's just a mirroring. So it's inside we feel it's good, but it's just an experience in the dream of time and space. So you are the completeness itself, the self. You are already complete, playing the game of being incomplete.
Donc on peut chercher, même si on tombe amoureux, de dire non et essayer d'éviter ça. Et...
You can, but if you play that, she asks if you see the game that falling in love is not right and this, so I should not do it. Yes, you can, but if you want the direct path, you have to look for the one who wants to control the movie. I want to avoid that or that because it's not good. It's fine maybe as a seeker, as long as you are identified with this free will, then yes. But if you see you have no control, then what can you do to avoid what? The moment you see free will is unreal, what can you avoid? You cannot avoid anything. Only the actor can avoid. L'acteur peut éviter. But from the zero point of view, from the absolute, it is seen as illusory, this free will. So the movie is shooting by itself. You have no power on it in reality. So it always depends if you see from absolute or relative, from zero or from the one. Tu as compris? Ça dépend si tu vois du point de vue absolu ou relatif. It's all a question of zero or one. Zero is complete. The absolute God, the Tao, Buddha nature is complete, right? So from there you can see that the movie.
On est tous là pour essayer de revenir à cette forme originel qui est le zéro. Donc on aurait
we are older to try to come back to the original what we are.
on devrait
But you are already that. You try to get there, but you are already that. You understand? No?
Is it means that if we see that we can control something and change something, then we create karma?
Can you repeat?
Is it means that if we think that I am and I can control something and I can change something, then we create some karma?
Yes, in the dream, the actor who think he has power, free will, he will change. In the dream, yes, I have the power, you see, to leave the water bottle. It appears like that. But if you question it, then you will see like the heartbeat. Are you making the heart to beat? Or does it beat by itself? So the same. This is obvious. The body function like this. But if you look well, you will see that the thinking process, free decision making, all this is like a heartbeat. In fact, it appears to have a controller, but it has no controller. In reality, has a heartbeat and whatever happened in the sea. Yes, it's automatic life living itself. But yes, the actor can change. Yes, if you want to get out, then you just have to decide, I get out. I get up, right? And go. But it depends from where you see again, from the one, the actor, or from the zero. The zero see it's fake. But the one believe, I have this power to not be Adidas. Yeah. And you see, whose self, what kind of self was the self of Adidas? Is it different from yourself?
My ego wish.
Yes, you see? No, the self is the self. The worst apparent being has the same self as the Buddha self.
But does it invalidate his recognition? Or nothing at all?
The recognition of
Adida or anyone that have fall down in the wrong. So they believe they're realized, then something happened somehow, but does it invalidate the recognition or it was still recognition?
no, maybe there was some recognition, but yeah. If there is an intention to stay somewhere in some control, if the controller is not, this is always, yes, dangerous. I really agree with you, it's very dangerous. That's why many fall.
So are we always on the fence, or there's a state where you can you not reach, but where you can recognize and falling down is impossible? What is the most secure? We never know. We can never apprehend the true end of it. It seems like it.
The only permanency is the self, right? So the only security, the absolute security, is the self that you are now. Whatever happened as an appearance is not stable. So these people who have taken an appearance as real, maybe they confuse the self with a body mind or a guru or a teacher. That is a confusion. But it's not an appearance. The self is not an appearance. But that's why it's not about the person, about Ramana or Buddha. It's not about that. It's because what is Ramana, Buddha, or Adida? They are still objects in the field of subject-object, right? But if you're interested about what it is about, then withdraw your attention to the subject. Who am I? And then this no answer is the answer. So instead of keeping your attention on object, Buddha, Ramana, they are still body, no? Ramana body, Buddha body, Adida body. If you keep your attention on them and thinking that is the aim, you have to be like them or not like them. I want to be like Ramana but not like Adida. You still play the game of subject object and your attention is not in the right direction. So the right direction is to bring back the string, put it back to I. You don't need to think about Adida or Ramana or anything. If it may help for some time, you may think about Ramana, for example, because it helps you to bring back your attention or as a help, right? Or go to the temple or like that. But at the end, it's not about keeping attention on object, but on the subject. This is also what Ramana experienced when he was 16. The attention was not anywhere else than on this Shruti, I. And then the question, thought about other beings who made it or not. Personally, I'm not interested now. I'm not interested to know who made it or not because this is still in the movie and I have no interest. I'm only interested about what I am, the self. This only permanency.
And so if my own recognition is clear and my thought passing by and they're going, but they're really negative, it shouldn't bother itself.
The self is not. It's not. They should not bother self. The self is never bothered. Who is bothered is the body mind.
And if the body mind end up committing crime, it's not a problem either as long as the recognition.
For the self, no. It's a problem in the society, in the dream. But from the self point of view, it's not a problem. It's not happening.
But the question is, the fact that my action and my thought are not benign, does it invalidate my recognition, or the recognition can still be there?
But the recognition is for whom? In that case, you speak about the one.
I recognizing I.
Yeah, but this is the recognition can be shaky, the recognition of the one. But the self-recognition is uncheckable. Is the self is not, or we can say the self is not checkable. So maybe in the movie you
can we say that someone like Adida recognize and forget eventually after he recognize, or it cannot be forgotten after that?
Yes, but now we speak about the person, right? Adida as a person, as a one.
Or we can talk about me or about
No, but we speak about the person.
Yeah.
So yes, the person can always fall down. Why not? Only the self is the screen, right? The self is always manifesting in any form. All this form, a cow, a god, an angel. But I am right now, the self, which I am, is also manifesting in this form, in a cow, in a devil, in Hitler. Is also Hitler, the self of Hitler is the same self. But if you see it more like Shiva is playing the game that is dreaming to be in a movie which is real. I want to dream something exciting. Sometimes it's a drama, sometimes it's a love story, sometimes it's adventure, right? So Shiva, or the Absolute, dare to dream anything just for fun. Just for fun. Like some people go to the movie theater and they see like a horror movie. Just for what? Why people go to horror movie? Just for fun, for entertainment. So this is entertainment of the self. This show is entertainment of the self. You see, if you see it like this, then it's not really happening. It's an entertainment for yourself.
Then why is the seeker seeking if it doesn't change anything for self?
It's part of the movie, because the one being separated, once he came out, he has a feeling of separation, so you have to seek for completeness. So he's seeking for outer object to make him happy or to suppress this unhappiness. So it's a natural tendency of the one to try to cancel that. So it's part of the movie, and this is what is sustaining also the movie. The eternal story of Romeo and Juliet, trying to oh, I feel so incomplete, so I want to feel complete. Come, Juliet. Yes. So the movie is based on that. Or otherwise, the movie cannot be there. When you see it, you say, "I don't mind. It's part of the game. I'm just playing." This is the lila of God, we call it, right?
But Self doesn't want a happy ending in the movie.
But ending,
And so then
you come from Thailand.
It's okay.
So everybody look for happy ending, and these bodies who are looking for happy ending are these eyes. I. Because I is in time. So I, who is in time, is looking for a happy ending. But the self, which is prior to time and space, does not understand what is happy end. What is it? What are you talking about? The self is saying. What is happy ending? No, I don't know what is beginning and end. So I don't need happy end.
Or just Ananda, Satchit Ananda, Ananda, peace or bliss. So it's not violence or abuse or anything.
But when you put the word end, you
No,
already
I was just joking.
yes. But the only link which is what you are, whether during the dream, during deep sleep, or during awakening, the awakening state, is you are all the time. During these three states, you are, right? The ananda or bliss, the ananda or shit may or may not be there in your awareness. You might not be aware of shit or ananda, but the self, what to be, you have to be to experience any state of consciousness. So you are anyway, you are all the time, whatever happens, in spite of anything, whether there is an experience of bliss or not. So that's the only thing you can rely is be as you are. Then whatever happens, bliss or no bliss, is not in your hand. Otherwise you fall in the game of the controller. The only thing if you can do is to not do anything, just be as self and be what you are, and then let it unfold.
So that means that Satchitananda is also a state, so it has a time. So
In the Indian scriptures, they would say that no, it is the quality of the supreme, the self. But we may not experience it right now, but because it is covered. Especially, I read Ramana was saying that shit and ananda may be covered or not, but the self, to what you are, you're always that. Whether it is covered or not, you're always what you are. But shit and ananda are not always perceived. It might be covered, right? So we could say like that also. Any other question? You come from which country?
Ukraine.
Ukraine. Oh, you speak good English.
Searching knowledge in the world. That's why I studied English.
Sorry?
I'm searching knowledge in this world.
Ah, for the
That's why
seeking
I-
purpose.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
This is
Yes.
me.
Yes.
The
That-
self is in English.
To find yourself, you need to study English first.
no, it's very convenient. Yes, I did the same.
Yeah.
I looked many satsang, attend to many satsang and read books in English. Also, my main interest in life was that also. Yes. Because this is an international language.
It's easier than Sanskrit.
I don't know, but I did not try. You tried to learn Sanskrit?
I love Sanskrit.
You learn?
Very slowly.
Dedication. And you can read Sanskrit?
Not, just a bit.
So any other question or sharing or comment?
What is, if, I don't know if you search this point of view. But what is karma yoga? Like in Bhagavad Gita.
Karma yoga
Karma yoga, it's a question
is
of
selfless service. You know the three ways we speak often in is karma yoga, bhakti yoga, or jnana yoga. You know jnana and bhakti, right? But karma is selfless service. It means you serve without expecting a result of your action, right? To erase your sense of doership. But when you start to do seva, when I was starting to do seva, I remember more than 20 years ago in ashram with and I was cleaning the toilet and this is seva, but I think it's so stupid. You know? I did not understand, because we are used to do everything with an expectation of a reward, right? So the real meaning of seva, purpose, I would say, if you do it with self-inquiry, and to watch whatever you do, how much this I is interested in something in return, and you observe this business transaction. Otherwise, when you do, so let's say you do seva, anything, selfless service, karma yoga, this is the same thing, then sometimes there is no sense of I, and it's perfect karma yoga. Sometimes you will do anything, be lost in the action without sense of I. Then this is already perfect karma yoga. But sometimes the I come.
It's good for your ego if you start with the toilet, because you are an intelligent man, you speak in many languages, and you are in the toilet first. This is good for the ego, no?
It depends how it is experienced, because it can also develop a subtle ego. Oh, it's so good for me.
Yeah.
You know, if you say, as you said, oh, it's good to clean the toilet for me, because you know, when this feeling of it's good for me, it's already too much.
Yes.
If it is like that, right? So it can be taken in a totally wrong way and develop a subtle ego, a subtle humble ego. Oh, I'm so humble, I clean the toilet. See?
I'm doing
depending on your devotion.
Yeah.
So if you
It depends how, nobody can know, only from within.
But
Two people.
doing yoga, you're doing karma yoga can give you a lot of joys also. I remember at the beginning when we were in Neyadan cleaning the toilet with my sister and a friend of mine, and we were laughing all the time, and we can imagine the people. They know that we were in India and maybe on the beach. We were laughing. No, we were cleaning the toilet and we were enjoying doing this.
Yeah.
With us.
So, you know this sense of joy?
Yeah.
Maybe because there is no sense of I, so you feel so light.
It was like this at the beginning.
Yeah, it's like people run.
It was nice.
When people want to feel that, they do many things. For example, running. When people do running, at some times the mind stops and the sense of I is not there anymore. So unconsciously, people who do some kind of climbing or any activity which will suppress the sense of I, we run after that, and we think it is because of this activity. But behind, if you look, we are searching this erase this sense of I, even sex or whatever. The principle behind this, even ice cream.
How you treat
Can you
this?
speak louder?
How you treat this? You have still the ambition to have sex, or is it completely vanished?
Me personally?
Yeah,
No, it can happen.
it can happen.
It can happen. Now I am single, but it can happen. Why not?
Because this is something, when you run behind this, it's for sure not showing up.
If you want to, yes, this is what I see with gurus. You know, they want to show up as something pure, somebody pure and perfect, and don't want to speak about anything like that. Then it is, you have to keep a face. So when you have to keep a face, you want to stay somewhere and to have to maintain this face. Then for sure you will fall down, and that's why many gurus fall because they have to pretend to be someone who is like this or like that, right? So it's not stable. Whatever, when you have an image of a mask,
Yeah.
it's not stable.
But what you do when you're saying, okay, I want to get rid of this sexual activity, it's like ego stuff and whatever. Then you wake up in the morning and you say, wow, it would be so nice just to have like this warm hug, this nice experience. But then, like the dog is biting into.
Yeah, but again, the same. Search for the controller, the one who think he can control the movie.
Yeah.
Who is this controller who think he can control, have or not have? Who is this I? Put your attention on this I, and then the question disappears. And then you have no question. It may happen or not. The movie shoot by itself. Well, this is the best place to be.
No, the thing it's not bad, but it's for sure not happening when I have the wish to have sex. This is the thing.
But this is the nature of, in this dream, frustration is part of the dream.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have, sometimes you don't have what you want, right?
So when I have the wish to have sex, it's not happening. When I get loose of this wish to have sex, it's also not happening because
So,
there's no wish.
what is more, I will explain you something which is important to grasp. If you can see that, when I, the subject, want to obtain an object, I want an ice cream. Let's not speak about sex. Let's say ice cream, right? So there is desire. Desire mean two. I want this. So I'm separated from this. The fact to have a desire is covering my natural state is covered by a sense of separation. I want to get that, right? So as long as it is not there, I feel unhappy, right? But when the ice cream is there and I'm having the ice cream, I feel happy. And I feel it's because of the ice cream. But in reality, it's because the desire is not there anymore. So my true nature, the peace which I am, my natural state appears. Because I'm without desire. When there is desire, I am in tension, in separation. When the ice cream is there, or a lady, or whatever, then you feel, oh, I'm happy, finally. But it will not stay. It's just a reflection of your natural happiness. So it's not
we have to catch this moment.
You have to watch. This is inquiry, self-inquiry. Watch this tendency. Yes.
No, to catch, to understand, yeah.
And yes, so self-inquiry again, watch this process of the one thinking that it is the object which is giving him the peace. No, it's a cessation of the desire. Cessation of the desire.
What does it mean? Sorry.
To cease. Cessation. Cessation of the desire. When desire is gone because the object is there, then there is no separation of my true state, happiness. I think it's coming from the ice cream or from the lady, this perfume. But then, if you inquire, you would see you are that perfume. It's your nature is that perfume. But when it is covered by the sense of separation, you appear as unhappy.
Yeah, but when I eat the ice cream, me and the ice cream is one.
Yes. Yeah, because there is no separation at that moment. Then you feel happy. Oh, I'm happy. And you think it is the abuse is to think it is coming from the object, whether it is ice cream, a woman or man, or a car, or money, or power, or anything. We think this beautiful perfume is coming from the object. Then we may have to inquiry and demystify this. It's like a story in India is often used, like the deer, you know, the animal, the deer. She has a musk perfume in the navel, but she is going in the forest endlessly and striking her head against the trees or anywhere to look where is this perfume is coming from, endlessly. Until one day she might realize it's coming from its own navel. This is our case. We think the perfume is coming from the object, but we are that perfume. We are just playing the game to be separate and think it is coming from the other one, the ice cream or whatever.
C'est quoi le beer en français, là, le muscle? C'est quoi le...
La biche,
La biche, voilà, oui.
yeah.
Muscle.
So I didn't get what you said to him about how to deal with desire. Or, like desire means there's a duality. I get this, but we are meant to express those desires, or we're meant to just
No,
embrace them.
if you want, no, just put your attention on this one. I, who have the intention to suppress
It means
anything.
self-inquiry.
Self-inquiry. Because
So desire appears, self-inquiry to vanish the desire.
not to vanish anything.
Not to
This is again control. Try to put your attention on this one who has this tendency to want to control anything, who think he has a control. You think he has a power. Do this I as really a power? This is a direct path.
No, you're completely depending on the
Yes,
object.
the movie.
You're depending on the woman. She has to come. She have to put something to.
No, but this is you still keeping your attention on woman. It's better to bring your attention here
Yeah.
and to stay with this eye and to look. Is this control of this eye real or not real? This is who am I? So keep your attention here. You don't need to try to control your actions. Maybe for some time, for people, beginners need some discipline and practice for some time. But at some point, if you really want to go further somehow and to really realize what you are, then don't stay in this controlling game. Question, who is this controller? Who is this one? I think is controlling the game. This is, we could call it the controller, the devil, or whatever you like. So sometimes I share a dream I had when I was a teenager. There was a beast, like in my dream, like a dog in fire, like terrible. And I was trying in the dream to burn it with a, I never know the name of that, but gas lens or something. But the more I was trying to burn this beast, the more it was becoming bigger and terrible. And then I woke up. So I could not. And this dream for me is the meaning of what happening in this dream. The devil want to kill the devil. The devil is made of fire and the devil cannot be killed. So instead of trying to kill this devil, inquire, who is this devil who want to kill the devil? Who is this first devil? I. Stay with this first devil and then you may realize you are prior to that first devil. You cannot kill the devil. Controlling means trying to kill the devil. This is the meaning of controlling. But the control is fake. You cannot kill the devil. This is a field it's made of fire, so it will not work. It's like trying to to kill the I also, the ego. It is not possible because it's not real. If the moment you try to kill it, you confirm the dream.
But if we do the opposite of controlling and we just let ego do whatever he wants and just indulge in everything, and it doesn't feel worse.
But who is letting the ego? Who is that one who is letting the ego? Is another ego who went back and said, "Oh, should I let this ego do? Should I? Who is this I? Go back always." This is self-inquiry. Because it will always do like this, trying to hide somewhere. The I we go somewhere and say, "Oh, like that." Try to hide. So it's like a seek and hide and seek. But if you stay at the root, who is this I? Who is this I who's seeing an I? And then some people say awareness. So awareness, watch awareness. But still it's separation. Be aware of awareness of awareness. But it's still splitting yourself. So maybe at some stage it may help, but There is no split for the self. There is no need of split yourself. You are prior to the separation of the seer seeing what is seen. So what you are cannot be perceived by the body mind. So whether by thinking, sensing, feeling, it cannot be perceived like that. So this is neti. Whatever you perceive through the body mind, neti. The self cannot be perceived like that. Only the appearance of the dream. You can only be what you are, but you cannot perceive it with the body mind. Then it's like whatever the ego mind try to catch it. Oh, I got it like this. No, you see it as fake, not it. Neti. Not this, not that. Pas ceci, pas cela.
Merci.
So and then you stay as you are, and I am that. If you can hear that, I am that, and you don't move. You don't go anywhere. You've never been anywhere. You will never go anywhere. So you don't move. This is what my teacher Ishwapuri told me. He said, you have been doing many things in past life, in this life. What if from now you say, I don't go anywhere, I don't do anything, I'm done. Let the body mind do whatever they have to do, but I am done. Meaning he was speaking self to self. The self has no beginning, no end, cannot move, has no leg, he has no idea, concept of. So then stay as that, and the movie is going on, and so what? So what? Maybe one of the best mantra. Whatever happened, for the self is like this. The best mantra, so what?
Yeah, but it's
Want
like,
to
but it's like the rescue system what is running.
Sorry?
It's like the rescue system what is running, because when you don't get what you want, you're ingratitude. There's just this possibility, because if you don't apply this, you just will get nuts.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Try to make the difference between it's a concept that it's maybe the last concept, 0 and 1.
Yeah, because for me it's like,
No, but listen. What you said is applying to the 1, right?
yeah,
The 1 will always get frustrated or satisfied sometime. Alternating, right? But seen from what you are, it doesn't matter. Whether the 1 is satisfied or not, it does not affect what you are, the self. Right? So whether you get the object of desire or not, only the 1 feels frustrated or not, but not what you are. Your not is independent. It's a screen, right? And on the screen it appears there is someone who is frustrated. So watch the movie. You cannot change it. The nature of the movie is like that. It's like that. So and then you relax. That's when you see that you can relax in yourself, because you see, oh, it seems to appear, to be happening. It's an appearance. The assumption that you make is to take for real what appear to be real. So it's like a mathematical equation. The mind is making, oh, it appears to be real, so equal to it is real. But no, if you question that, this is also inquiry. It appears to be real, but because it appears to be real, is it real? And if you keep this kind of seeing of time and space as a fake frame, like a mirage, then this, mirage. So mirage experience is in a mirage time and space. Fine. Mirage. It's a mirage. It's all part of a mirage. And when the inner ear can hear that, I am that, then all kind of challenge will be there to test this grounding somehow. So what I would suggest is don't move. The actor will move, right? And the ego will come back, and mind, vasanas, turf, this, so many things. the body mind will experience maybe some sickness, some cleansing, some whatever. Just stay at that and don't mind anything. Don't mind anything, just stay. Just when you go to the temple, just sit and be, and whatever appear to happen. Yes. Easy. You have nothing to do as self. So what could be more easy?
Because is it a risk that you create like a...
Sorry?
Is it a risk you create a spiritual ego that kind of mimic the self? That mimic the behavior, like this neti. You understand what I mean?
It's a risk of the spiritual ego.
To create the spiritual ego.
Yeah, but if you do self-inquiry, you will see it. You see it.
It's very subtle. I mean.
Yeah, but then keep the seeing. I'm also seeing it. Because the tendency is always there. So just be watchful and see, with this seeing and see it. The eye may always try to. That's what happened to also gurus and teachers. The eye try to catch it and to take it personally.
What kind of self-inquiry would you recommend?
To stay on the feeling of eye, on this eye. So whenever there is a sense of I, you can grasp it, whether it is physical, emotional, or mental. Anyway, and you see it, and it becomes like an automatic process. First, you have to use your will and your ego to practice self-inquiry, and the more you do, it will be seen as automatic, and it is seen. It is like a permanent thing. And also the thought which tend to try to reach outer object. For example, the I will think something bad about you, or you should not be like this, or she should not have done that. But as much as this sense of I is seen as unreal, the sense of others will also seen as much unreal as this I. Then the thought automatically, they try to reach some outer people, she, he, they. But when they try to reach it, they come back like a boomerang and they are cancelled. The more you will see by yourself, it's like this, the thought cannot, they are used, it's an habit of the mind to try to condemn, judge objects. She should have, they should not. But then, with the sense of I and others disappearing, seeing as fake, then the thought has no power to grasp anything. So, but it's a kind of automatic process. First it is use your will, and then it is seen as happening by itself. So once the inner ear.
So how do you do it? Can you do some practical?
Practical?
Yeah.
Oh, so if you bring your attention back to I.
And what is I in this case? I is one or zero?
The one.
Yeah, one. Okay.
Yes.
The ego, like the ego kind of.
Yes.
Okay.
I, the sense of I.
Mm.
So stay with the sense of I. And this is who am I? Am I? Or who am I? All this is inquiry. Yes. So, and seeing this I as a phantom.
That's a phantom.
I mean, you don't need to, but by doing self-inquiry, it will lead to that. Yes.
Yeah.
So, any other question? Any other question or everything you're already enlightened?
We're always
all good. Yeah.
just stay. When I say, okay, I'm frustrated in a certain part, it's not coming, I stay away from it. What is the difference between suppressing? Because I then start to say, okay, no, sexuality is not good at all, it's not happening, I don't want to deal with it. And then when I stay with it, it just makes me sad.
But you see, this is all about push and pull. The nature of the mind, I, is push, pull. I don't like, I like. I want, I don't want. Okay? But
I cannot get, I don't like.
yes, so it's love and hate. This is the nature of I. When I came out, then I has two polarity: love and hate, like and dislike, push and pull. Right? So if you stay identified with the I in that game of push and pull, then you suffer, right? But if you can question who is this I who plays this game of push and pull, love and hate, this is self-inquiry. It's like you doing a step too much. You go into the mind game. I like, I dislike. But if you bring back your attention to I, to the center, who is this I who has a preference between this and that? This is what we call self-inquiry. Stay with I prior to stepping into the like or dislike. But without trying to control the I to like or not dislike, to like or dislike. Just staying as prior. But let the I having like or dislike. But just keep your attention on I, and it will lead you to your true nature, the self, which is prior to like and dislike. Push and pull. The push and pull game of the mind will never stop. So if you try to act on that, it's like trying to act on the movie, on the nature of the mind, push and pull. You cannot control that. If you go into that, it will be a fake control. Then it is what, again, some souls, teachers, master attain some kind of control, but it is still in the game of push and pull game. It will work only for some time. It can be for 10 years, 500 years, or whatever. But it's you can be an angel for several 100,000 years. You can be an angel, and then you will fall down again. It's still part of the dream. Maybe an angel, maybe a samadhi or a deity or whatever. It's still a state. It's still some temporary stuff. But if you want to see what is prior to that game of push and pull preferences, so search for the controller. Who is the one who wants to control this game of pull and push? Right? Then you are already that, which is prior. You don't need to work on it. You are already that, which is prior to the push and pull game of the mind. So don't mind the mind. Let the mind play push and pull and be what you are, which is prior to that. And then it is easy. You have nothing to do, nothing to control. Yes?
La maladie, comment tu sens?
So disease, physical disease,
Est-ce que
la maladie.
la maladie, donc quand on est malade, je sais pas, est-ce que ça a un sens par rapport à une recherche
Est-ce que does the disease have a meaning for
Parce qu'on
the
dit que
for the
la
search?
maladie, c'est psychosomatique, et donc dans cette recherche d'être
Yeah.
unie, est-ce que quand on est malade, est-ce que ça...
Yeah, you can always search for meaning in anything, right? But this can be a long path. Ça peut être un long chemin. Chercher toujours le sens à toute chose. C'est endless path. C'est un chemin sans fin. If you want to make the sculpture perfect, when the sculpture will be enough perfect or pure? quand est-ce que la sculpture sera assez belle ou pure? Chercher à comprendre, à contrôler, to such a way as control meaning in everything, right? So the shortcut is to see that you're always that which is prior to purity or impurity, that which is never sick. Tu es cela qui n'est jamais malade. Avant la personne peut être malade, mourir, la vieillesse, comme Bouddha disait. Bouddha a voulu, Buddha wanted to go beyond that. Being sick, he disait, I don't want to be sick, I don't want to be old, I don't want to die. So he has left. Bouddha a quitté sa famille, il voulait pas ni être malade, ni vieux, ni mourir. So he left his family, his wife and children and kingdom. He had everything. He was seemingly happy outside, but inside he was not satisfied. So he wanted to go beyond this sickness, oldness, and dying, death, right? But what he discovered, that you cannot avoid it. So this hopelessness, even Buddha, he was hopeless. He cannot avoid sickness, old age, and death. But what he discovered in this hopelessness, that we can't do anything about it, he recognizes true nature, the Buddha nature, we call it. It's the same, right? So, but he did not act on the movie. He did not make a stop on sickness, oldness, or dying. Otherwise, we will not be here, right? So it did not work. What Buddha wanted to achieve did not work. And by failing, it was his success. So it's always failing. The real success is absolute failing. To fail, échec. Échec. L'échec total, c'est le succès. Le succès, c'est l'échec total. Quand on voit que rien ne fonctionne, le désespoir total nous amène à réaliser qu'on est cela qui est avant le désespoir. What we are is when the hope of the one is good enough, the hopelessness of the one. The one. When the one is totally hopeless, that's when the zero can recognize itself, or the inner ear can hear, I am that. But the hopelessness has to be strong enough.
That's why we have to do the sadhana,
Yes.
isn't it? Like,
To tire the mind. We do sadhana to tire the
or
mind.
to be able
Tired.
to fail, I mean.
To fail, yes. To fail.
Because if we don't try, we can't fail.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So we have to do, practice, sadhana, yoga, stuff, to see that it does not work.
And just be.
Yeah, because you are already, at some point you say, oh my God, I did all that. The ego said, no, I can't. So I still want to hear with these 2 ears, and I will still practice and this and that. Yes. But at some point it's like, oh, it's too much. No, I can't handle it. I see it's hopeless. And then, ting, oh, you are someone. It's like in the scripture they said, Tattvamasi, you are that. And then suddenly you hear. You have heard it millions of times, but it could not be heard with that ears. But one day it is heard. And who knows how? You don't know. Nobody knows how, but it happens. And then, oh my God, so easy. Nothing to do to hear that.
Tattvamasi, what language is that?
I think it's Sanskrit.
It's Buddhist or it's Indian?
It's Sanskrit, yes,
Tattvamasi.
India. But the belief, so the wrong,
Pale?
the wrong belief would be that, oh, when you hear that, then everything is fine, I'm in paradise and this, or I'm awakened. This is an assumption that the mind makes. When this happens, then no. So many things will happen for the body mind. It's like some people call it the dark night of the soul or something. Because yes, Because you hear that before, there is still vasanas when you hear that. So things will happen, vasana will be dealt as life wants to deal with them, and however. So just stay firm.
Which point is that? You said the vasanas is still there, but at which point is that?
When you hear, the inner ear hears that, it doesn't mean that you have no vasanas or no. It is heard, but still, still the person is there with vasanas and stuff. So, but then you have to keep strong with that. I don't know. There is no way to say what to do because there is no recipe. But just be what you are, and whatever come, you are the zero. And whatever come and goes, let it come and goes. Thought, emotions, feeling, whatever, destiny happening, let it come and go, and you stay as zero. That's the best I could say. Whatever traverse here, whatever destiny, yes.
Satyan, what does it give us if we stay in like Yogiram Saraskumar Ashram or Ramana Ashram or Seshadri Ashram? It's like it feels quieter and it feels some nice energy. But does it actually help, or it's just a change of state?
Yes, it helps. It's a change of state, and it happens in the time and space, in the manifestation. So this is addressed for the one. The happening of the change is for the one, right? What you are does not need anything like that.
Yeah,
but for the one, it is a help. It is a help to feel the mind is more quiet. You can be more focused, alert, and all this stuff. Better for self-inquiry, right? This is for the one. So it is a help, yes, for the.
So it's just to quiet the mind.
Quiet the mind, or have some insight, or maybe some energy, things happening, or some blessings, or whatever experience. But the danger, in a way, would be to take that experiences for that what we are. That what we are, the self is prior to any experience. So even a nice state, peace of mind or blessing, or I feel so good energy in my system, or whatever, or I see some beings or some light, or whatever experience you can imagine, is still an experience in the mirage of manifestation. So what you are is prior to that and does not need anything of that, but that is the beauty. In spite of not needing it, it is happening, or it appears to happen. But what you are does not need it, but in the dream, the one may get support from it. Like in Ramana or Sheshadri, there is many great souls, we can say, who have been buried, so something may emanate and give some soothing or quietness or blessing or whatever. So it's happening in the movie. But to try to stay there in that state or this or that is still misleading somehow. So it can be a help, temporary help, but not to take it as that, as the self. The self, which I am, and this is passing phases, which has a beginning and an end. Whatever has a beginning and an end is within time and space. So I don't mind them to come and go, but I am that which is prior to anything of that. So don't mind where your body-mind is going. Tomorrow you are living, I think, or today. So wherever the body-mind is going, it is happening in the dream of time and space. But what you are is not affected by anything. So you can continue to dream anything, but yourself is untouched. It has never been touched by anything. So you can keep on dreaming. That is the beauty. The dream can continue. We are not affected. The body mind may be affected, but not what we are. Any idea of the time?
Any idea?
There's no time.
5:45.
5:45.
Oh.
So anything else? And this is when we can hear that, then you pull back somehow in yourself and say, oh, I have nothing to do. This is just a piece which does not